Hi, welcome back to Quarantine Kitchen. Today we're doing appetizers for dinner. It's a little trick we do at home so it doesn't have to be anything big. We just pick our favorite things and have them all at the same time. So I'm going to show you how to do a shrimp crostini, which is a recipe I found out of a newspaper actually years ago, and water chestnuts wrapped in bacon with a delicious sauce on top, and then finally chicken kebabs with a delicious peanut sauce. Okay, so the first appetizer that we're starting with are the chestnuts. And when I was a kid growing up, we would always have these for Christmas, and they're one of my easy go-tos. First thing I did, I go into the store, find the cheapest bacon possible because you don't want super thick, it takes too long to cook. So I've opened the pack, I've cut the bacon in half the long way, and then I'm gonna cut it one more time this way. So the recipe calls for whole chestnuts. I just get the chopped up ones, it doesn't matter. Once I have my bacon ready to go and my toothpicks are out, I take a few pieces of the chestnut and wrap them up and pop a toothpick in the middle. So I'm gonna do this with all of them until the bacon is gone. The recipe calls for a pound of bacon and 2 cans of chestnuts. So I will go ahead and finish this part. You don't need to watch all this. And when I'm done, I will come back and show you the simple sauce. We're back, and as you can see, we have our wrapped chestnuts ready to go. Haley has volunteered to help me make the sauce for them. Super easy recipe. It's 1/3 cup brown sugar, 1/3 cup molasses, and 1/3 cup ketchup. We start with the brown sugar first so that it doesn't get dirty when we put it in our brown sugar container. Haley, hold it up. And I'd imagine if these things aren't precise, it'll be fine. I use mild flavored molasses. I don't like super strong. And then a dash of dried mustard, kind of what you think. And then a little bit of garlic powder. So once I have all of these ingredients together, I give them a stir. This is really easy. Haley and I are gonna switch spots real quick. And then the next job is that I take this and I just pour it over the top, making sure that I get all of the pieces. And then when you go to put it in the oven, the recipe calls for 350 degrees. I've moved it up to 400 just so it cooks a little bit quicker. The goal is to just have the bacon be done, and then these are ready to go. We're gonna throw them in the oven, and I'll come back and start on our next appetizer. We are back and starting appetizer number 2. This is my famous shrimp crostini, which I found in the Colombian, I wanna say probably 10 years ago, but every time I make it, everybody loves it, if you love shrimp. So I'm getting ready to cut the last bit of our bread. You can just get the baguette at Winco, anywhere that has baguette. I go for French, I prefer that flavor compared to the sourdough. So I'm gonna take this and put it to the side.
And then my job is to take all the tails of the shrimp, and what I do is I pinch like the middle of the tail kind of, and then it comes right off.
And what's cool is that if you can maybe not see this, but there's no shrimp meat left in the tail.
Then just finish up those.
Okay, so the recipe is really easy. I've got softened cream cheese in here. My next step is to cut up, and I do a rough cut. When I first started making this, I would cut it much smaller, but now I just do a rough cut. I like it better. There's more shrimp on each piece, it seems like, and 1 baguette is perfect for this recipe. This is a pound of shrimp. And once I get that sliced up, I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the bowl. I've made this enough times I'm not gonna use any measuring devices. Next is 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and calls for a 1/2 cup of mayo. That's just kind of your binder. And then it calls for dill. If you've never bought freeze-dried dill, it's a little trick. Get this in your produce area. It's not in the cold section, but usually on an end cap. And I didn't know that I had any. I thought I was out, so I grabbed this. But this is way more inexpensive, and it stays in your fridge forever. So it's 1.5 tablespoons of this. That looks good. If you like dill, add more dill. And then it calls for a few green onions, which we really like, so I will always add just a little bit extra because it is delicious. So once you get this in here, when I was younger, my aunt taught me never use a spoon. It's much easier to use your hand. So I'm gonna take the ingredients and mix them up. As I finish this up, we'll come back and I'll have it plated up, ready for the oven. Okay, we're back, and I'm finishing up cutting our chicken breast. I finished off cutting up the green onions from the last appetizer, and so I have those ready for when we pull the chicken off the grill to top with that. If you notice here, we've plated up the shrimp crostini, and those are ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna save those until the bacon chestnuts come out because those are super, super hot. So that'll give these time to cook while those kind of cool down a little bit. So when I first started kebabbing, I would always spend tons of time making sure that it was the perfect meat, then veggie, meat, then veggie. And as I've gotten older and watched too many people eat the kebabs and literally just pull off the stuff that I spent hours putting on there, I now just take one strip of meat, and that is our kebab. So Haley can help with this, and it's fun because anytime you can get your kids in the kitchen, it's a good idea. And we'll get these done, and when we come back, I'm gonna have everything completed and you'll be able to see the final products. All of our appetizers are done. I threw together a peanut sauce, which is simple, just peanut butter. I only had chunky, and sesame oil. Works perfect for the chicken kebabs. I always like to top with a little green onion, and then a little sesame seed for flair. There's a little something here for everyone.
These are fantastic.
Just like you.